Hey guys, this is Elhain. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're going to go through the top 10 rares that I would absolutely max out on my Raid Shadow Legends account. I'm also going to then talk about another about 12 or 13, which are worth taking a look at if you need to max them out. Okay, and this is what Raid's all about, really. It's like, what gaps have you got for your teams? Who do you actually need to max to make the most out of your account? And some of these rares that I talked about after the top 10, you know, situationally are absolutely brilliant, like better than epics if you don't have the epics that do their job. So let's go through this. We're going to start with the kind of top 10, which almost every account should have a maxed version of, unless you've pulled something much better already as a legendary. Coming at number 10 is the Frozen Banshee. Believe it or not, she was actually a freebie when they first did a battle pass back in the day. They've never done it again since, which is an absolute calamity from Raid, because it was brilliant. But yeah, Frozen Banshee came to us when she came into the game as a freebie, and she's still up there as one of the best poisoners in the game. In the game, like, including legendary champions. And there has been a lot of power creep. There's now a few that do take her place, but she's got decent speed, decent defense, decent HP. All of her damage will come from the poisons she pumps out on her A1. So you don't really need to worry about building her with any sort of damage at all. If you're going to put her in a clan boss team, you just need to make sure that she's quick enough to get her abilities away. Gets enough accuracy in her build to actually land her abilities. And then the kind of delight of a Frozen Banshee is you just throw out this poison sensitivity on her A3. You ideally do want to book this cooldown. And then as soon as poison sensitivity is on, every time she A1s, she does double poisons. It's kind of crazy. If you get her with counter-attack accessories, more chance to do those poisons. Retaliation gear, more chance to do those poisons. Put an ally attack on her team or a counter-attack on her team, more chances to do that poison. So she's really good. Her AI is actually kind of sensible as well. She won't do the A2 in Clan Boss. In fact, I don't know if she does the A2 ever. It's like it doesn't exist, but you want to turn this off anyway for Clan Boss and for Dragon fights and stuff like that. But yeah, great poisoner, great rare champion. The next one up, I guess, is a little bit situational, but Painkeeper is a brilliant, brilliant rare. She's actually used right through to the end game in some secret room stuff, but if you pull a Painkeeper alongside a Man-Eater, then she's going to create an unkillable budget team for you. You need to follow the guides in doing this. She's got a very cool ability on her A3, which decreases the cooldown of ally skills. This is like the big ticket item. It's basically going to enable you to run comps that are just kind of refreshing your allies' abilities quicker than they're meant to refresh. She's also got a nice heal and an AoE hit on the A2. This is why she's so good for secret rooms. And then she's got some turn meter fill going on her A1 as well. Good speed. She's just a great rare. She's used in a lot of endgame teams, as well as that kind of like entry into Clan Boss. 2 Painkeepers and a Demither gives you another unkillable option for Clan Boss. So lots of things you can do with a Painkeeper. She's also in proper endgame Iron Twin teams. I think it might be 2 or even 3 of her in a team to get the kind of like unkillable stuff going for Iron Twin. So yeah, Painkeeper, definitely one that you will be maxing. Even if you don't max her, you will need to keep hold of her. Like, she will be in teams for you in the future. This next one is kind of, used to be like an absolute must level 60 as early as you can. Nowadays, there's a lot of champions that do a similar job in epics, but Warmaiden is still top tier as a rare champion. She's a bit squishy. She's got low base defense, very low. Yeah, very low. So you want to make sure she's not taking hits, or you build her kind of defensive stuff up. She does hit kind of hard, and she brings this AoE decreased defense ability, which you can book pretty easily with rare books up to 100% on a 3-turn. That's an epic level ability. Yeah, you will not find many epics in the game with the same quality here. And that's why she's kind of in that must max camp. You do need accuracy to do this. You want her to be the fastest in your team. Get this away before everyone else does their damage. So you want accuracy and speed and survivability as your kind of like preference. Perception gear, great on a Warmaiden if you use her early on. Eventually, there are epics that just do the job better. Stagnite, Ugo, I don't know. There's a bunch of them. But ultimately, if you're kind of stuck without a decreased defense champion early, then Warmaiden is farmable and she is brilliant. So freebie and absolutely brilliant champion. So let's look at the next one in the mix here. We've got Reliquary Tender coming in at number 7. I've maxed her on my free-to-play. Yeah, so my free-to-play of this year, I've maxed out a Reliquary Tender. And that's me having a lot of knowledge. That's me pulling other good champions. She's very valuable to have in your team. She's got a revive ability on her A3, so she can pick someone up that drops down. This is probably our biggest steal nowadays. A full cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown with heals. Yeah, all of those nasty debuffs on your team, she wipes them away and gets your team moving again. It's just such a good ability to have on a 3-turn cooldown. She's quick. She's got good base stats. She's got a little bitty decrease attack on her A1 as well. I wouldn't worry about booking this out if you already land books here. This is your main thing to book out. And this ability with the revive is just nice for things like faction wars, just to get your kind of 3 stars in a faction war environment. But yeah, Reliquary Tender, you could run her at level 50. You don't need to necessarily 6-star her. You don't need full masteries, so you could run her at level 50 if she's got half decent gear. But definitely wouldn't be a bad one to take to 60. Next one in the mix here is actually one of the newer rares in the game. Wrong faction. One of the newer rares in the game, Turlak. The Shadowbow Turlak was introduced during a fusion recently. Damn. Crazy base defense, good base HP, okay base speed. This guy in his ghillie suit here is good at hiding. No, what's going on? He's got a decent kit. So he's got a mini decrease attack. It's okay. He's got a nice increased speed ability and AoE attack. And all of his attacks are based on defense. So the way you make him take hits is also the way that you do damage. Yeah, it's just so nice. Like, its tankiness is also his damage. If you put attack on this guy, it will literally do nothing at all. Okay, but yeah, increased speed for your team. It's a small version, but still decent on a 3-turn. And then he's got this ability here, shield on all allies for 20% of his HP. Yeah, and gets a veil on all allies as well. So the veil reduces the damage you take. The shield straight up stops you losing HP. And, pair it with his other abilities. Very cool. We've also got this. So when he puts his veil out, not only do you take 15% less damage because you've got a veil on, you also take an additional 5% less damage straight up with his passive. So very, very cool rare. Well worth kind of taking out. I'll say the Sylvan Watchers Faction Wars is starting soon. Yeah, I think it's the next patch. So this dude will be pretty valuable for most people's teams. Okay, then. One of the golden oldies coming up next. Coming in at number 5, I've got Bellower. Bellower, there's an argument to say, could easily be... All of these 5 are changeable, honestly. Maybe not number 1, but from 5 to 2, all very changeable. Depends on what you need. Bellower has got all AoE abilities. Yeah, every single ability claps the whole enemy wave. They all hit for decent damage. None of them hit for crazy damage, okay? But you put him in something like a stun set, he's giving you control whilst hitting. You put him in just fast gear, he's going to be able to be your campaign farmer. You put him in slow gear but with high damage, he can also be your campaign farmer. All of his skills are actually good. Block active skills on his A1, that is a crazy ability, honestly. You've got decreased speed on his A2, and then decreased attack and defense on his A3. He's also bringing speed for faction crypt, which is kind of whatever, really. But his kit is just generally great. He will be a really great carry for you if you get him early on in the game. Okay, next one in the mix here. And I say maybe this one should have come below Bellower, honestly. But just such a great champion, used right the way through on some of the best endgame teams that you can get. Yeah, so what I would say is if you're starting the raid today, this is not your first level 60 champion. In fact, can be used as level 50, but a brilliant rare champion. So you've got this A3. This is the main thing about a kit. A bit like what we said with Painkeeper, decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. Everyone on your team gets their main abilities back quicker by 2 turns. It's actually really cool. Yeah, it's a very, very cool skill. This is what enables things like speed farming runs going on in dungeons. It enables some clan boss comps. I did a video yesterday utilizing her with a Demitha comp. Yeah, she brings in ability that very few champions in the game can do, and that is this. She's actually also just generally not bad. Like, she's got decreased speed on her A2. It's a triple hit. It's good for finite, and she's got heal reduction here, which is also good for finite. So generally, usable champion, but main thing is this ability here. So coming in at number 3 is the legendary Apothecary. So Apothecary is just, and again, probably could be number 2 easily. Apothecary is just a great rare champion, used right through towards endgame. Definitely used in secret rooms after that. It's just got a great speed boosting ability here. A massive heal on his A2 that can crit. And then he's got a triple hit A1. So this is good for like early level clan boss. You give him Giant Slayer as his main mastery. You just want to make him as quick as possible so that he gets through his turn meter fill as often as possible. And then when you get past kind of needing him for the early game stuff, he still comes in on your finite teams, your general kind of like secret room teams, a lot of dungeon teams. I look at people failing dungeons and I notice they've got no speed champion in their team. No one that's just pumping their turns. The quicker you get your turns and the more often you get your turns, the less the enemy can do to you. Simple as that. So Apothecary comes in as an absolute unit. Okay then, number 2 is actually the starter hero, Kael, or Kael as we better know him. He's just so good. He's just so good. You could throw, and I guess I'm going to talk about this in the kind of like mentions in a minute. All the other starter heroes are good, so we'll talk about those in a sec. But Kael in particular is just the OG, the GOAT. He's got poisons on his A1. He's got a big smack on his A2 that only needs 85% crit rate, which means you don't need to build him 100% crit rate. You can put those stats into something else. He gets turn meter fill when he kills stuff. So on Spider, he kills a whole wave of Spiderlings. He gets his turn again. Yeah, if he's campaign farming for you, kills all the enemy, or kills like 2 enemies, gets back to his turns really quick. That's cool. And he's got this 4-hitter, which can just throw out a ton of poisons. Great for Dragon, great for Finite, great for Clan Boss. Yeah, so if Kael becomes either your Poisoner for Clan Boss and for Dragon and stuff like that, or once you're kind of past needing him, he still becomes your Arena Nuker, or just like general wave clearer in dungeons and Doom Tower and stuff. So he just remains really, really valuable. HP in all battles as well. Good base stats. Kael is coming in at number 2. Same faction though, number 1. It's going to be Coldheart. She's just so good. Someone sent me a message the other day actually on Discord saying, we need a new Coldheart video. And I'm like, I've got so many already. And honestly, the builds haven't really changed over all that time. Maybe you could play around with some new gear sets. But there's not much different about this chick other than she's absolutely top tier. Like, she's still used in very high level end game teams. She's still there. She's got a 4-hitter A1. Very few champions in the game have got this. Makes her exceptional for Finite. Yeah, with the heal reduction on it as well. Exceptional for Finite. Okay, she's got an AoE hit, which is okay. Land some poisons, can land decreased accuracy as well, but it's more about, you don't really build her for this. This is just like a byproduct of everything else she does. But yeah, an AoE hit on her A2. And then she's got the cannon on the A3. So it's an enemy max HP skill. Means the higher health your enemy have got, the more damage it does. Especially hits bosses hard. Really, really good against Spider, against Finite, against any boss with a lot of health, honestly. It's a single target hit, and it will also drop that target's turn meter by 100%. She's also got this mechanic here, which is very rare. Has a 30% extra chance of doing a crit. What does that mean? You only need to build her with 70% crit rate. Yeah, that's all you do. 70% crit rate. This does all the damage for you, so you don't need to build her with attack. You literally just build a 70% crit rate, the speed you need, enough accuracy to land this turn meter drop, and then you just go full tank. Yeah, you build her with defense and HP so that she stays alive, mainly HP. But yeah, Coldheart is an absolute legend of the game. Number 1 rare, easily. Okay? Now let's go into some other rares that you should just watch out for that you might build if you need them. Okay, and that's the point here, if you need them. There's a couple in this faction. Judge. He's an end game rare, believe it or not. He's used in a lot of secret rooms. He's got a cannon of an A2, right? And he's got some debuffs as well. I wouldn't say build him out if you're new to the game, but he's brilliant for secret rooms. So Judge is definitely one to watch out for. Paragon, the Cheese Meister, is fantastic at beating Nightmare Campaign. He's very good at getting you through hard spots in the game because he can make himself fully unkillable forever. Yeah, you just keep buffing himself to be unkillable. Generally, you don't take him to level 60. Generally, you run him as like a level 50 or 40. Make him squishy so that the enemies keep coming after him and he keeps making himself unkillable so that he will not die. It's just like, he's a weird champion. You should absolutely go and watch some videos on him if you're struggling to do something like Nightmare Campaign, because the Cheesemeister can do all sorts in the game. Very, very useful champion to have. Definitely don't feed Paragon. Next one I'm going to talk about here quickly is going to be Metalshaper. So, not a great rare. He's not. But if you're struggling to beat the Scarab boss and you're quite early game, he brings this shield ability, which gives you a shield for 2 turns on a 2-turn cooldown. Against Scarab boss, if you can maintain a shield all the time and then just turn me to control the boss, you will just beat him easily. Okay, so there's not many champions in the game that will do a shield for the same amount of turns as the cooldown of the ability. He needs to be running the fastest in your team so that he constantly reapplies that shield to your team, and then you will just never fail against Scarab boss as long as you turn me to control down the Scarab boss. Okay, next one's actually one of my personal favorite rares. Like, in terms of building new accounts out, he's one that I look for a lot because he helps you massively with stuff which is really hard. Yeah, he's not going to be the rare that you build day 10 or something. Probably when you get to about day 50 and you start to get working on Doom Tower and start to work on maybe a Hydra team, start to get through some of those harder bosses, this guy comes in clutch. Yeah, he's got just a great kit. He's really good against Bommel. He's really good against Hydra. He's really good against the Magma Dragon. Okay, there is kind of 3 spots for me. He's got provokes for Magma Dragon and for Hydra. Yeah, so 2 different ways to do provokes. The A2 places a provoke, so that will even go on against Hydra through a poison cloud, which is very cool. And through anything. And then it gives your team a bit of buffage. But his passives really are what get him going. So when attacked, heals all allies equal to the amount of damage taken on the first passive. So when a Bommel bomb explodes, he will heal all allies by the amount of that explosion. This will be the way you beat Bommel for the first time if you can't do it right now. If you don't have some of those big champions for it. This dude will help you do it. Okay. His second passive is also no joke. Revives a random ally, will always be your leader if your leader died first. A random ally with full HP when this champion is killed. This is on a 5-turn cooldown. This is on a 1-turn cooldown. Yeah, so he does have to take a turn in between this happening. But yeah, both of these passives are really, really cool. He's a great rare champion. Okay, next one. Again, situational. Yeah, do you need this champion or not? And it comes down to, are you doing okay on clan boss? Have you got to that brutal level clan boss and you start to absolutely need to put decrease attack on the clan boss? He's got a really good chance to land it. Booked out, what's that? 30% chance per hit, and he hits 3 times. Yeah, and he puts the big version decrease attack on. So Coffin Smasher might be your answer to just getting that bit further in clan boss, which is the absolute first place you should concentrate your efforts. Yeah, again, it's if you need it. Do you already have someone who's doing this well? If not, you should be building this guy out. He's also bringing a burn, which is good damage, and he's bringing a damage reduction against AoEs, which is pretty much every boss in the game. That's all they do to you. The Coffin Smasher, really good if you need him. We're going to talk about a champion that almost nobody should build, but he is in the best clan boss teams in the game. But it's almost nobody should build him unless you've got Krisk, Brogni, and then buff extenders. If you've got those 4 things, Corpulent Cadaver is the best damage dealer in the game. But what I would suggest is watch my video about the world record clan boss team before you even consider building this guy, because if you don't build that particular team, he's like completely useless. He's absolutely useless. Okay, so don't build him just because you've seen that team before checking out what else you need. Okay, Doomscreech also in this group. Good turn meter filler, gives you increased defense as well, and then he's got a kind of bit of shieldage going on. He's a niche pick. If you don't have a good turn meter fill, he's actually a brilliant one for a rare champion. Again, probably wouldn't 60 him. I'd probably take him to level 50. Okay, moving on then. Let's find one of the dogs. Fellhound. One of the best campaign farmers in the game. Very, very quick. His A1, or his A1 is just a nuke. And he would continuously do this if he can kill the enemy waves. Okay, so you just want to kind of nuke, 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 build him for full damage, and he would just absolutely blow away all waves of campaign for you for stage 12-3. So you do have to 60 him to do that. You do have to do him masteries and stuff, otherwise it won't work. But absolute cannon of an A1, and you'll end up with like a 6-second or 7-second campaign farmer. Outside of that, if you've built one out, kind of good for early game Fire Knight. Reflect damage blows away the first few layers of the Fire Knight shield, which is quite cool, and gives your leader a block damage buff as well, which is quite cool. But yeah, generally used for a campaign farmer if you need one. And I wouldn't suggest just going out and building one straight away. If you've already got someone like a Kael doing that, then just leave Kael doing that for now. It becomes a bit of a luxury to have a fast farmer when you're kind of looking for those next upgrades. Okay, who's next on my list? I guess let's just talk about the other starter heroes quickly. Elhain is the one you will use for the longest because she is actually very useful in secret rooms. Yeah, she's got AoE hits coming out from all over the place. Hits pretty damn hard and a decent rare. If it was your starter champion, then of course you would max her out. The other one, Galek, I think is probably the weakest of them all. Still hits hard with his A2, still got a bit of a cannon, but if he's not your starter, I wouldn't go out like all out building him unless you just need him for faction wars. And similar with Athel as well, like if she's not your starter hero, I probably wouldn't take her past 50, but she is worth a 50 for your faction wars if you need it. Again, similar to Kael, good damage on the A2 and got an okay kind of kit. Okay, got a few more to call out here. Templar can do some kind of like crazy solo bommel strats if you're really, really caught short. It's extremely slow. Hopefully you get something better to do that, honestly. I would rather go the Master Butcher route than the Templar route personally, but he can do it and he can take that through to kind of like high levels. Farmable, rare Diabolist, way better than people give her credit for. Like, way better. It's got this turn meter, or speed fill, sorry, AoE hits, and then turn meter fill, enemy turn meter decrease. Just basically all about moving speed around. Gives you a really good like base speed as well. Just a really good rare to take to like level 50 and manage your kind of like turn meter fill in. You can use her in things like Dark Fae to get the turn meter control going on. Just a great farmable rare. We've got here an undead in Seducer. Very, very nice A3. Gives you a weak source increased defense, which is okay, but a 2-turn block debuff sometimes is the difference between you beating stuff and not. Certainly in faction wars, this dude is like absolutely brilliant, even up to stage 21. Spider 2-turn block debuff is amazing, so you're not taking those poison hits. Pretty much anywhere in the game, block debuffs is a really valuable skill, so that is well worth looking into. Who else have we got here? Again, situational. Gnarlhorn can absolutely control the hell out of everything. Yeah, he's got this provoke, then he makes himself unkillable. He is a beast. Like, once he gets going, if he's got some decent speed, he needs no damage. He just needs speed and survivability and some accuracy for this. But once he gets going, the enemy waves cannot do anything because he's literally provoke, you can't kill me. Provoke, you can't kill me. Both on low cooldowns. So yeah, he's very, very useful to have in your team. And I'd say one of the most underrated like rares in the game. Honestly, so good. We've got ourselves a Barb as well. So Soulbond Boya, hard-hitting rare, really good for some of the boss fights. Got turn meter drop on the A3, so you can use this against Spider or against Fire Knight or Ice Golem. Also got an Ignore Defense ability, which hits really hard. And then an AoE A1, which if you put her in something like a stun sect can just like control enemies as well. The Soulbond actually hits hard and is pretty damn useful. In the same camp as well here, we got Marked. Really, really good early game clan boss champion if you do not have block debuffs and increased defense. Increased defense will help you stay alive for longer. Also brings a decreased defense for the boss. And then an AoE hits kind of nothing really. But this ability here is mainly what you use it for. 3-turn cooldown on increased defense and block debuffs is brilliant for an early game account. If you've already got that in someone else, then you don't need her. As I say, these are situational champions that you might need in, or you might not. Last one then on my list is going to be Muckstalker. Mainly really for Sand Devil. So got one of the best sleep abilities in the game. On a 2-turn cooldown, places asleep if they've got no buffs, which is exactly the situation for Sand Devil. Put the Sand Devil to sleep, do a load of debuffs and damage, and then when he wakes up, go again. But Muckstalker is one of the best or most consistent champions in the game to do this. That would be literally the only reason I would build him. So again, situational, depending on what you need. So that's it, guys. There's probably about 25 rares that we've spoken about there. Hopefully that's helpful. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.